Hay sonido. Okay. Let's go.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Okay.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay. Oh, wow. A ver.
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up.
Okay.
And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her. I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her. Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how it turns out for all of us.
Okay.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Elecciones.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Okay.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Elecciones. Okay, acá no suena.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Oh.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Con esa actitud, como que ya me estás dando las ganas.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
No puedo confiar en nadie acá.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
Ah, me está
She's unarmed.
amenazando.
If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this. You're so close. Don't give. No, this is a good idea. Maybe we can de-escalate.
Oh, threatened, are we? You poor thing. Drop the knife, and of course we can talk.
No.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Escucha tu madre. Bueno, es literalmente lo que estoy haciendo.
You stare at the princess, squinting. She squints back.
The two of you are gonna do this forever, aren't you?
You squint even harder. So does she.
At least nobody's dying right now.
You're going to have to make a choice. You can't keep squinting forever. Eventually, someone is going to have to blink.
Ah. Narrador. ¿Por qué confiaría en el narrador? Pero bueno, es el narrador. Además tiene una actitud de mierda. ¿Qué hago?
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through.
Qué asquerosa mi mano.
A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured.
Holy shit, that hurts!
Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit.
We can still turn this around.
Bro. No way.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either.
Excuse me?
Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job.
A la mierda, tan fuerte es.
The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh,
The two of you fall to the floor.
this was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
Pues no.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Oh. Okay.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time.
Oh,
If you don't
okay.
remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. That's fine. It doesn't matter if he can hear us. The only thing that matters is marching up to that cabin and winning.
Pues sos the stubborn.
That's the spirit. There's no point in squabbling when the real threat is just up that hill. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We did our best with the information we were given. And we did kill her, and yet you still died, didn't you? So congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
Bueno, sí parece.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We killed the princess killed us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left? Ugh, enough with the talking. We've got a fight to win. Nothing else matters. I couldn't agree more. The cabin and your destined conference...
Okay.
Just be quick about it.
Mira, es tan fuerte.
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin and you'll be fine.
What?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Oh, this is maddening. Why do you keep asking? There's nothing wrong with getting the full picture of what's going on here. Sure there is. It's wasting time and energy. Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in. I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job. What else would we even need to know? We've got all the reason we... Exactly. The less you know about her... Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a fight.
Are you sure about that? The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever. Are we clear?
Crystal. Let's just get on with it already.
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
See? Even the cabin has the right idea. Let's get moving.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You already wasted so much time in the woods. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now, but it was there a second ago, and now it's gone, so all of us can stop arguing about it and get to fighting.
Huh.
You take the blade. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulfuric odor to it. If the princess lives here, her fierce voice.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like Mike.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us.
What?
And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces. What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There. Unpacking done. Don't you get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Alright, fine. I believe you. What? What you said earlier in the woods, I believe you. You've already met the princess, and the princess has already met you. That's all. You don't know. Whatever brought the two of you back to life isn't a fluke. And beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember. Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die. I'm going to take that silence as a sign that from this moment on, you're going to treat the task before you with the utmost importance and seriousness. I'm so glad that we're finally all on the same page.
You look exactly the same.
Okay.
Oh, I remember you all right. Best 3 minutes of my life.
See? She wants to fight us again. There's no reason for us to stand around talking.
And why not? You decided what to do with me quickly enough last time. Are you scared I'm going to kill you again? Maybe you're worried I'll put you down for good this time.
También, sí.
If you want to talk, I guess I can talk. But you should come a little closer first.
Pendejo.
Oh, you've got another thing coming if you think you can just turn around and leave.
As you step towards the stairs, you hear the heavy creak of straining metal, and then a snap. She's loose. You have to make a decision, and you have to make it fast.
No.
As the princess barrels towards you, you do your best to maneuver between the tight walls of the basement. You do your best to outplay her, slashing out and leaving red cuts in the tattered remains of her white dress. But you have little room to maneuver. For every glancing blow you manage to land, she slams you against the wall in retaliation, each impact threatening to be the last.
This weak little dance isn't working. Just toughen up and overpower her.
She's throwing us around like a ragdoll. I think overpowering her is a little out of the question.
Did you think you could stop me with a few cuts? All this dancing around is doing nothing but annoying me. I own this place, and I own you.
The princess's arm shoots forward, her palm wrapping around your head, fingers gripping your skull.
How disappointing.
She squeezes, the pressure unbearable as her fingers dig into your scalp. The last thing you hear is the unsettling crack of your skull, and the sickening churn of what was your grey matter. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Puedo matarla con un cuchillito.
You're on a path in the wood. If you weren't so damned afraid of what she'd do to you, we wouldn't have died back there.
Fear is good. Fear keeps us alive. We died because you didn't have enough of it.
So what? You'd have us cower in a corner?
No, but that place suits her better than it suits us. She's big. We can't hope to find holes and openings down there. We need more room if we're going to survive.
Are you suggesting luring her into the woods? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? If you lose sight of her, if she manages to slip or... Are you not challenging us on all the looping? Have you known about it the whole time? Are you the same one we've been talking to since the beginning? Sorry to disappoint what I'm sure must feel like a grand revelation, but that's not what's going on here. We've never met. It doesn't matter.
We could go in circles forever. I don't like staying still for too long. Let's get to the cabin, see this through.
It's good to know that at least one of you is still capable of reason.
We may have the same destination, but we're not the same. You are still an other, and I don't trust you.
Voy a morir en la puta cabaña de mierda.
It's evidence of one of many ticking clocks.
You can't let her. Things are always changing. She changed, the cabin changed, we've changed. Why wouldn't the woods change too?
Because they're not supposed to have changed. This is supposed to be a path in the woods. If it's not, it means something's gone horribly wrong.
You're the chooser. The best we can do is advise. But we can help if you let us.
These are just powerless thoughts and opinions. You don't need to let them drag you. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up the hill at the cabin. I hope you've given serious thought. No last advice for us? What I gather, you've heard it all before. There's no use screaming into the wind. I don't know, screaming sounds pretty good right about now. I could use a little catharsis. Catharsis is for when we're finished. For now, we need to hold it out in front of us, something to chase. The interior of the cabin is suffocatingly tight, more of a glorified tunnel than a building. Its stone walls squeeze against your sides, leaving you no choice but to press forward.
The only furniture of note is an iron altar jutting out from the wall, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. See? We have even less space than before. We need space or she'll kill us. The only space is out there. Take it. Maybe it'll go away again. For something to go away, it would have to be there to begin with. Let me assure you, there's no mirror here. The only thing at the end of the room is the door to the basement. No use arguing. Mirror or not, we need to be there. The why we pick doesn't matter.
I agree with the freak. Let's get a move on already, and worst comes to worst, we can smash it.
You take the blade from the altar. It will be difficult to slay the princess and say, good. There's no overcoming her without it. We need every part of us to survive, and that steel claw is as much a part of us as any. You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it, as if you don't see it. You're rather committed to the bit, aren't you? The door's right there, it's right in front of you.
This really is just like last time.
It smells of nothing, yet it's still there. You reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the floor as it reveals the dim path ahead.
Why am I not surprised? It was in our way, and now it's not. That's all that matters.
Before you is what may as well be a sheer cliff face. There are enough footholds that you'll be able to clamber your way to the bottom, but it will require careful effort.
Wow.
The air hissing up from below is warm and wet, like the breath of an enemy locked in close quarters.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Her voice, bold and fierce and impatient, echoes from the chamber below.
Do you have more fight in you than last time? That was such a disappointing show. I know you can do better than that.
Goad her. Rile her up. If she's angry, she'll make mistakes.
But that wouldn't be fun. I don't want to be a monster chasing you down. I want to face you head on. I want an equal. It's so much better that way.
We need to get closer. She needs to see us to give chase. You've nowhere to go but down. You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself foot by grueling foot. But soon, there is solid ground beneath you. Remember every crack and crevice. We'll need to be faster than her. You turn to face what lies at the end of the narrow tunnel. Princess, imposing and tightly muscled, grins back at you from the darkness. Her face widens into a broad grin.
There you are, knife in hand. How thrilling. Attack me, bleed me, twist the blade in my flesh. Break your bones against my body. I want a real challenge this time.
We can't get that close. She'll kill us in the tight space, steel claw or not. Make her come to us, stand beyond her chains, and let her become frenzied. She'll break them. Then we run.
I really don't like the sound of this.
It's the only way we live.
Well, what are you waiting for? If we're gonna do this right, you can't be scared. You need to want this as much as I do. So go on. Make the first move. Don't keep me waiting. This again? What does free even mean? Here and there, none of that matters. I'm always in a body. I'm always in one place. Why do you act like you know me better than I know myself? I had what I wanted. I had something perfect and it ended. And now that it's gone, you just keep dangling it in front of me. It's more than teasing. It's cruel. It's cowardly. It's selfish. I know what I want, and I'm sick of waiting.
Bloody desire in her eyes, the princess rushes forward, ignoring her chains as they bend and snap. Run. Without hesitation, you turn back the way you came and scramble up the ledge towards the tunnel entrance. As you near the top, hands desperately clawing at jagged stone, you glance back. The princess is right on your heels. She doesn't bother to scale the wall as you do, instead digging deep into the rock of the cliff face with her fingertips in her rabid pursuit.
Anywhere you go, I will follow.
Good. You reach the ledge and hoist yourself up into the tunnel, the cabin door finally in sight, at once within your grasp and infinitely distant.
What is all of this for? What's the point? You and I are always going to end in violence, so why bother to run? I know what I am. Why can't you be the same? Little bird, where do you think you're going?
We're almost there. Don't think about almost. We're there when we're there. And we'll take the fight with us. Your skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door and roll onto the grass. You glance back at the cabin as the princess, singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. You are walking a dangerous path. If you waver once, it's all over. So get it right.
There's nothing left to slow me down. Do you think this is better for you? Do you think this space gives you an edge? Then show me. Show me that you've been worth all the room you've taken up in my head.
Do it. Be swift, strike true, be where she's not. Let your body move you.
Oh, me voy a matar.
You leap from the grass and bound towards the princess.
Charging me head on. Brave and foolish.
Her body braces for impact, anticipating the clash. That's where you're both wrong. Left, now. As the princess strikes, your body swerves to the left. She overextends, stumbling as her balance shifts unexpectedly. Strike. Before you can finish the thought, you lash out, the blade slicing through her leg. She turns to swing again. Right. You move out of the way, but this time it's not quite as clean. You can feel a bruise already blooming where her elbow crashed into flesh. It's nothing. A scratch. Yes, it could be worse. And you manage to gift her another cut in return. I'll be damned. We're actually gonna pull this off, oh? You just might. But don't let it get to your head. Not until it...
Yes, finally! This is the hole I felt in my heart. This is what I've needed. This is what I've been missing. This is how it always needed to end. Both of us giving it our all, beating and bleeding each other to death.
The two of you engage in a devastating flurry of blows, each of you wounding the other again and again. She's stronger, but you're faster, and the deeper the both of you fall into your lethal dance, the more your edge shines over hers. She's slowing down, blood pouring from wounds, splattering at her feet, leaving her weak and unsteady. More! Keep going! We can't stop now! You spy an opening, but this time she's waiting for you. She lets you sink the blade deep, trapping you in place long enough to wrap you in her impenetrable arms. You're slammed to the ground. Nothing! These blows are nothing to us! But her gambit wasn't enough to close the gap. It wasn't enough to kill you. She stares you down, coughing up a splash of blood as she gasps for breath.
You've outplayed me, haven't you? Something feels wrong. Something.
And? Then what happens?
Oh. Huh?
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? He is. Does that mean the world ended? It hasn't ended. We're still here.
The world didn't end. We're still here. Come on. We just need to keep going.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
¿Qué más voy a hacer?
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. That thing reeks of death.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Destroy my body?
She is part of me, and part of me is her. Just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free. Nothing, as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit. But this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom. More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home. You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
Okay.
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
You're on a path in the woods. And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin, you're here to slay her. You make your way up. We're not gonna ignore him. He doesn't know. The interior of the blade. Her voice.
Who's there?
She said, don't let it. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs. She's so coldly beautiful. Focus on the task.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
You step forward.
Oh? No talking then. I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And so, you should just...
She's unarmed. You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face.
El tema es cómo voy a resetear si yo no muero.
But is it over? Really over? It's over. Don't get all worked up. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse? I really don't think you should do that. And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that. You lean down and wrap your hand around the blade's hilt. But as you begin to slide it out of its resting place, you feel a sharp and sudden jab in your side. Oh. What was that?
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
Bruh.
Quick, let's get out of here. It's too late for that now. You collapse to the ground as the mortally wounded princess twists a blade of her own. As you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort, the little life that was left in her eyes fading rapidly.
An eye for an eye. A life for a life. I guess see you around.
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? For whatever that's worth. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin, you're here to slay. A warning. She will lie. He couldn't be more on the money.
Oh.
We're really doing this, aren't we? I'd say you're lost, but I'm stuck here with you. We know what to look out for this time. We know to be careful. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards. The blade is your implement. It feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands.
Desaparece.
The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like scraping. She's not even trying to hide her knife. It's like she wants to get in our egg. That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across her grating voice.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down.
There is something so wrong with that voice. Yeah, She thinks she's better than us, like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close. If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
Puta madre, ¿cuántas opciones?
That doesn't sound like me.
Last time? What? Ugh, it's like the two of you are working together on this. Aren't you listening to her? She's obviously lying through her teeth. I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back to the start. Someone else has to remember. Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she is, not dimension hopping or time travel or whatever.
A knife? What are you talking about? I don't have a knife. Where would I keep a knife? And why would I stab you to death? I don't know you. You haven't given me a reason to stab you to death. It would be so silly of me to cut you open and look at your insides.
Okay, I could have sworn we didn't mention stabbing anyone to death. Sounds like she's really out for blood. Fortunately for you, she isn't armed. I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if we get close to her. She certainly feels threatening. Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it.
Bruh.
But you know who is armed?
Imbécil.
You. So stop, but I'm nervous. All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before you waste any more time getting stuck in your head.
It would be so much easier to prove that I do have a sharp object. I could just show it to you, but I don't have one, so I can't.
The princess smiles as she pulls her hands from behind her back.
But look at this! Hands! Hands that don't have anything in them to stab you with!
Her smile stretches into an even wider grin as she shakes her sleeves.
And empty sleeves, too! Look at how few stabbing implements I have. It's practically zero.
A la mierda, muy
The
larga.
princess falls silent, her smile unwavering as you charge across the room. Okay, she hasn't pulled out a knife yet, and her hands are still behind her back. I think we can do this. I think we can win. We just have to strike now, but make sure you keep your eyes on those hands. I don't trust her for a second. But your focus is broken by the horrible sound of metal slicing through meat. Whose meat? Not ours, right? Hers, and then yours.
Hehe.
How? What did she even hit us with?
You stare down at your chest and at the long, thin blade she impaled you with. And then the red, angry slit along the flesh of her thigh, where the blade had been nestled just a moment ago.
What the fuck?
It's still lodged in her leg, emerging from her knee, hinging up and out of her body like some extra metallic limb.
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
You're going to die now.
With a twist of her knee and a painful squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark. You're on a path in the...
No, fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn...
What? The interior of the cabin is sharp,
Oh.
a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards...
Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do?
I feel dizzy.
Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now?
The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option anymore. We have to fight.
Good. It's better that way. Without a fight,
Volvieron.
no one can win. And if no one can win, then nothing has any meaning.
Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times?
This is our third?
No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realise that every time you fail, she escapes and an entire world is damned to destruction.
That can't be right. That's too much responsibility.
Nah, impossibly high stakes make the fight so much.
Let's just stay focused, shall we? The only furniture of note is a bent metal table, a pristine blade
We take it.
Okay, sure, you take the blade before letting me finish telling you it's there. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. This feels right. We just have to keep our senses shut.
That's right. We've got to be able to win eventually.
We will win eventually. Hell, we might even win now.
That's a fighting spirit I like to see. You could all learn a thing or two from this one. I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to get down there?
You walk through the door. You do know what door...
There isn't a door, there's just that mirror.
There isn't a mirror. You really messed things up, didn't you? It's like you can't even see I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel. He might be right. Could be a trick. If our other senses can't feel it, then we can't trust it.
If it's in our way, let's just break it and move on.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You really must think you're looking at a mirror, and it doesn't exist.
Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting...
You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement.
And the mirror's gone.
It was never there.
Let's just get to the princess already.
Guess it's time for us to see her. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat and metallic, and your body tumbles onto the basement floor and the form of the princess comes into view, standing at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
Hi, it looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
She's got another thing coming if she thinks we're going down easy again.
Pride makes us dead. The only thing that matters is survival.
Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to win once.
Nothing bad has come of it yet.
Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world to ruin.
The people there mattered. The past isn't real. There's only here and now.
Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor.
Holy shit.
She's loose, and she is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's right, we just have to think. There's probably an answer.
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment, she's across the room, blades flashing in the dim starlight. She skewers you. Ow. What a surprise. Yeah, we don't even get a second to think without her stabbing us. Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? You're on a... No, you're in a... Where the hell are you?
I don't like that we died without us knowing it. This really, really blurs some lines that I prefer not to be blurred. Are we still dead?
Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but this is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here?
This is 4.
No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her.
Sí, supongo.
We don't need any other voices chattering about in here. It'll just confuse us. All we... Yeah, I'll pass on that. As long as we keep moving.
Come on, show me.
Okay, plan. Now. She's going to kill this body either way. So stop feeling what it feels. She skewers you.
Ooh, not bad.
Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps. Then you skewer yourself.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh, that didn't do much of anything. We're tougher than I thought. What's the point? It's all the same. She skewers you.
Oh, don't give up on me just yet. You gotta keep going.
It doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give up. Okay, let's go again. Compliment her on those gleaming blades. There's nothing better than a capable woman. She skewers you.
You're cute.
See? We're getting better. Okay, yeah. That was a good one. Just panic. Flee. She skewers you.
No, you don't get to escape.
We're getting close to something. Can't you feel it? One, you're right. One last time, that's all we need. Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried that. I'm sure she'll listen to reason. She skewers you. And then everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a... Don't lose your head. We're in a cabin, and we'll take it from here. Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good. And our steel claw is already in our hand. Ho-ho! What if we throw it out the window? Over my dead body. That won't be very hard. We've died a lot. But I can't... Besides, what better way to die so very many times? Sure, I can think of a better way to die. Yeah, they're all the same, really. How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest. The only thing we're gonna manifest is there are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is... How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them? Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that winning note. Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined fight. Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement. It's more of a slide. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along. Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs? Or this room, or anything? Don't care, just want to win. Fine, you make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again? I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait, and not for very long, because I'm going to do it right now.
Are you going to say what she does? Well, yeah, she says she has something new. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say, really? Okay.
Here we go. Now.
The princess's skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears. She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades.
Are you ready for what comes next?
Puta.
Holy shit! She's God. Yes. Do you think we can throw? That looked. How is she still? Heart's still beating. That's all she. This is fake. This is all fake. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to? This is all just a sick joke. We're screwed. Narrator. What just happened? It's so quiet.
Oh.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once. You're incredible.
Puta, ultra instinto. Okay. A ver. Brown. Yo me veo igual.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets. If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time, and I am Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward. With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am. And what I am, I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of that. Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing. This one is a single-minded edge. She is cruelty, but she is also joy. She will do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be. My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory. The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side. Then we will remain here as we are now. I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Ok. Pensé que quería que mate tantas como pudiera, pero no quiere
You're on
ver
the path in the
decisiones.
woods, and you're here to.
No me interesa el narrador.
You make your way. We're not going to. The interior of the cabin is a blade. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This, her voice,
Hello?
is hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Eh,
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Okay, I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Oh.
Is someone else here? You try the door. Your shouts and pleas are, you're here to slay the princess, and you make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade, like you. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of it as she rips her flesh from her bone. A sound comes from behind you. The clack. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you... Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours. Blood from her wounded arm. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
What?
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Ah, cagón.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
No sabes nada, tú. No sabes nada.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
Ah, me va a matar.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is...
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you...
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not. Though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you...
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. But it can't just end like this. Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Okay.
You're on a path. You're here to... My tricks? What on... If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's...
Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be... Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the prince. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically.
Sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
A warning. She will lie. I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passion.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Don't pay their bickering any mind. The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries. The blade is your implement. You walk up to the wall. What are you talking about? You reach, but there...
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
Feather?
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, a soft voice can...
Hello?
Her voice. It's somehow even more... I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all the... Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part... You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist.
My love! We're here to rescue you from your
You know she can't hear you.
She may not be able to hear my word.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried.
Did you hear that?
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two. Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence.
That's right, villain. And you, well... Shit, only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters? We damned a whole world. But if nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. And you can't keep hopping between worlds forever. Especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you.
You died, and now we're talking.
Bruh. Okay.
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart...
Are you listening to her? That's a confession. At least you're being honest. I can't believe that the fate of the entire world... The princess shifts in uncomfortable confusion.
Me too. I don't care.
She wasn't confused for long.
If she doesn't care, then clearly she didn't...
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride, to a surprising extent.
That's because she's perfect.
Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like... Rescue her? What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity? And even if you wanted to unleash her onto the world, despite the don't you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her out with ease. No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand. If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already? Because we've yet to present her. I'm not sure I follow. Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature? I think I'd rather believe in fact. Ah, so you're one of us has to be. Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator? No, I can't. You're what? Take over our body? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain. My passions contained. You would. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I can't believe it. But I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
Power of love.
What do we do now?
Let me guess. End the world? Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
Oh.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her up and then she shrugs.
I don't know. I just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy. It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course...
That sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers. We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair! We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairness... Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run... Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusion. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hand, lock clicks, and the door creaks open. I told you our love was insurmountable. You and the princess make your way upstairs, and the blade, that's right, there's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay her before it... You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. You know, if her walking out that door is really going to end the world, can't we all just stay here? That's not how... Yes, what he said. That's not how this works.
Obviously, we have to leave with her.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin, and then you step outside. A happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
Where did everything go? Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
Okay.
She's gone. And is that a mirror? But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end. Yes. I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for... Okay. She'll be there waiting for us.
Oh, what?
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to all of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still. This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose. And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no... I am everything that you have known me to be. It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me? It will, in time, but you still have a ways to go before we are done. As easily as you can stand to be you, you are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul. My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths. and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work... The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves. But I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing.
Okay.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
You're here. Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. The interior of the blade. Her voice.
Who's there?
She sounds... Don't let it fool you.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She's so coldly focused on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? How about you drop the knife, and the two of us just...
Look how reasonable she's being. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her.
Oh. ¿Dónde está?
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the prince. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You go.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so... dangerous?
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Well, you do have that big, sharp knife. You could always cut me out of here.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. Is someone else here? You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you. The knife. Pick it up and cut me.
You won't like what happens. Against your better judgment, you place the blade you cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make... She didn't so much as utter a... Free from her bindings, the prince... How is she so composed after...
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. As the princess... Wait, this is... Watch me. Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into... Stop it. The blade. Move.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an all... Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse. This is the end. I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark. You're on a path. She will laugh. Yeah. Did you just say wink out? No, I didn't. Wink.
Okay.
Just ignore this clown and focus on... The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that the only furniture of note is an iron table. The blade is your implement. You walk up to the wall next to the... What are you talking about? You reach forward and... But there was... And now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back. You take the blade from the table. Good idea. The door to the basement creaks over. Her voice, harsh but...
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come down.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. Should we be worried about... Why would you be worried about her restraints? Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be...
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before...
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one...
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted...
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions? I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. I wouldn't do that. And why is... Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle, and it's one without a key. And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist in? I don't know. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all. But what if he's telling the truth? He isn't. I am. Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't... I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? Yes. Come out and say it then. You're just wait. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from... And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels... Yes? Are we stuck here now? Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we?
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain.
No. Yep. Nope.
That's rude.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything.
This is so boring.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing. But there isn't. Time, it passes and passes and passes. And the basement,
At least the world is safe.
it isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade.
But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting.
Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything.
How exactly does that work?
It just.
But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, let me guess,
If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger.
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude. You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks...
she hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
Until suddenly, there are no walls. And
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
She's gone. And there's that mirror. This doesn't feel...
You're right.
Unraveled. Huh.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. Do you know what we'll find out there? Rhetorical. I am not rhetorical. I have only known these spaces, and I have known flickers of the lives you've brought me. Short, I'm asking you because I cannot know your mind. Do you know? There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like... We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. This one is determined, but also cautious. One that would rather let the world move around her than move it herself. She will make for a patient heart. Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be. No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond? Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves. I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say. If I did, I would already... The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here.
Okay.
You're on a path. You're here to...
A ver, ya la salvé de la manera más amorosa posible. Ya la salvé de manera escéptica. La maté de manera escéptica. Y luego la maté de la manera más fría. Entonces, ¿qué me queda?
Seriously? You're just going to...
Ir al baño.
There won't be a new dawn if the world ends. There'll just be fun. I suppose you just... Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's me.
That's strange. That's great. A warning. She will lie. Fortunate we can't... The interior of the blade is...
Me falta el paranoico, ¿no? Epic, Mitten. ¿Cómo consigo el paranoico?
her voice.
Who's there?
She sounds... Don't let it fool you.
Oh, are you now?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck. She's so cold. Focus on the task.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me. That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away.
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at night? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. The blade tumbles at...
Thank you. Maybe now we can just...
Against your back. We'll be fine. Don't know what you're hoping to...
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. Do you?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't remember.
Just how long has she been down?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so?
Princess hesitates before she doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have... She knows what she'd do. She's just searching.
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaning. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world. But they didn't... That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you, either. Otherwise...
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly...
She's right about one thing. Her word is...
Like I said, it's all about trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand... She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight... You can't. Don't.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. Well...
Her shot. She isn't suggest... She is.
Too long. Oh, have you decided...
You know why. That seems like a pretty good... Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her...
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us, and if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that...
You have to make a choice. I know you think this is a fair compromise. It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work if we just stay here and keep watch.
You're making a mistake.
You turn your back to the princess.
It won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. Either way, she dropped her mask, didn't she? You can... You'll be the death of all of us, but fine. Have it your way. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay. You settle in against the far wall to watch the bait. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. Huh?
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the... As she violently rattles the door.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by... You don't know the kind of enemy...
It doesn't sound like she... No.
These aren't threats. These are promises. Sooner or later, you're going to have to
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can, and you jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful place.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though it isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go on. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course.
So helpless. I can take my time with you.
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as...
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. What a shame. If you'd only let me get out of here, we could have done...
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest.
I'd say better luck next time. But we both know this is the end.
It can't be. This can't... I'm sorry. Everything goes dark. And you die. You're on a path in... You're here to... Again? If he doesn't remember... Shh. What if he is?
¿Qué es el paranoia
That's a very good question.
que quería?
I think you'll find yourselves very hard-pressed to... Oh, she will lie. I don't think... It doesn't matter. Don't try. The interior of the cabin is plain. The smooth wood of the walls or the blade... Hold on. What happened to the door? It's just an empty frame. She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has no... So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task away... You walk up to the wall next to the empty basement door frame. What are you talking about? You reach... Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad. You're good. Is it gonna be enough, though? Couldn't you have given us something else? Something... I don't know. The blade is the only thing you need to finish your task. You're more than capable of pulling this off, so long as you don't lose faith in... Those are the words of someone who knows he's sending us to... Very different. I'm not the only one who sees her in the window, right? She knows that we're here.
No me di cuenta de eso.
Down. Maybe the three of you just think everything is different because you haven't been here before. So focus up. You cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps, suspended. More eyes, too. You never mentioned the... The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending. Her cruel and playful voice.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of...
Okay, we need a game plan. Last time we were here, just being close to her... It can't be that hard, but then we'd lose our weapon. We'd have to make it count. Otherwise she'd be furious and we'd be defenseless. If a knife is even enough to do anything against something like her in the first place, it'll be enough.
Ooh.
You attempt to step off the stairs and into the pitch black surrounding them, but you're stopped by an invisible force. Why did you do that? What did you think would happen? How would falling into an infinite void be? You make your way to the bottom. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us. Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place? No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reasoning. Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly We're going to die down here. I don't want to die. Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter, because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
You decide it's best.
There you are. I told you I was.
As the princess approaches, your legs, your arms. This is it.
And you brought your little knife with you.
There has to be a way out of this. What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before.
As your blood begins to coagulate, it's as if every heart, lungs, liver. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes. What are you doing? I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want? And then experience stops once more as your body. Okay, whatever you were doing, please. You sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you have seconds left? Yes, I'm sure. Heart, lungs, liver. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead, even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us. The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Your weapon is still in your hands. Strike at her. Nerves, heart, lungs, liver, 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 nerves. What? No!
Oh, you come around. Oh, this.
No, I'm not going to let this happen. Before you can utter another word, your body stops moving. And do you think you could just wrest control away from us? This body's barely functioning as it is. Doesn't the world end if we fail to stop her? Won't letting us die here just make it end faster? Shit. Lungs, liver, nerves. With a flick of the princess's wrist, the stairs slide back into place. I can't believe you're making me watch you damn everyone to talk.
Go ahead. I'll be right.
I don't trust having our back. You're not wrong, but maybe you should let me handle the feedback. Just focus on keeping it. Besides, I get the feeling she's telling the truth. She needs nerves, heart, lungs. You place a shaky foot on the first. You can feel the static prickling of the princess on your neck. Your limbs buzzing with pins and needles. An uncomfortable and constant reminder that you exist.
You're almost there.
The only thing left between you and the cabin is the now shut door to the basement. Oh, you snake. There wasn't even a door when we first got here. The door was from last time. I told you. I know he's messing with us, but you can't lose your cool. Yes, I remember. Of course I remember. Thank you. And you'd really rather us die down here than let her out? Of course I would. As much as I want you to have a happy ending, the fate of the world is a little more important, and you still have a weapon. Liver, nerves, heart, lungs.
You haven't even tried it. It'll open.
Nerves, heart. You pull against the door. Liver. The lock gently clicks open. You're not nearly as powerful as you'd have us think. Heart. Anyways, like he said, you're not really. I never said I was. If I was in control, I don't know. Secret.
The door is open.
What are you dawdling for? It's time for us to go. The world.
Shit. The princess moves past you and into the cabin. This is it. This is your final moment to make things right. I thought you wanted us to... It's the same thing. Do it. Do it now.
Okay, what do we do?
I said, what do we do?
Oh, do you want to hear?
Yes. Well, I thought you needed me to run the... We do, but this is important. Look, I'll even do it myself. Just, right. Lungs.
Liver.
Okay, thanks.
You're terrible at this.
I know. I'm doing my... Yes, it's very hard to stay focused on running things when other people...
What are you doing?
What? Finally, I can talk. Now, what were you asking me? Running everything kind of feels like popping in and out of consciousness. It's easy to... They were asking you for your blessing to trust...
Oh, that's right, yeah. Fuck this guy. Really?
So you'd have them trust her?
Oh, of course not. Can't trust anybody here but ourselves, but
I guess that leaves us back. I suppose if I had to make a choice, I'd pick... Thank you for your gracious show of support, but that's a marginal preference. We'll have to deal with him later. I'd just rather deal with him while our organs are intact. Whatever. You heard what he had to say, so whether you trust me or not, killing her is still the best. Nay,
all right, I'm done. You can let...
Finally, that was awful. I really don't know how you did.
Heart. Lungs.
You've been standing there staring blankly for a while now. And I have to say my patience is running a little thin.
Liver.
So don't pick away open the...
The doorknob twists in your hand, revealing the forested path beyond the cabin.
You bastard. Liver.
It's so beautiful, but it's so cold too.
Liver.
It's...
Nerves. Heart.
Why is it so cold?
Okay.
She's gone. And there's that... It's calling us. And not...
Oh. What? A raven.
I think you know what I am. The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds... I'm an echo. Likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me. Of course. That is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon. And then it won't be able to work like that anymore. You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
Oh wow.
by slaying the princess. Once she's gone, everyone will get to exist exactly as they are. No more fear, no more howling chaos, just life. Forever. She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. Seems that every me you met did a real shit job of it, though. If you need to ask that question, there's nothing I can say to move you. You haven't died. You cannot die. So you cannot grasp the abject horror of dying.
Guess not.
With some amount of difficulty, but you're an abstract concept yourself. It would have been preferable if you had destroyed her within the confines of the construct, but when I shaped the two of you, I made sure that you were strong enough to see things through. Yes, you will, but it will all be... light, burdenless, an eternal pattern of forgetfulness leading into the joys of rediscovery. Everyone will be with the ones they love. No more fear, no more howling chaos. Just life, forever. There's a cruel irony to it all. The only way I could share my dream with the world was to never be able to see it for myself. So I am. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly. Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am. Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind. Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or... Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end, pit. Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict. If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it. Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
Fear is what pretends to protect us from loss. To fear death protects from losing a body. To fear ruin protects from losing status. To fear rejection protects from being known. But losing a body is contained within having a body. Losing status is contained within having status. Being known is contained within being conscious. It is in the nature of all things to transform, to go from known to hidden to known again. But when the ceaseless impermanence of all things strips away the finality of endings, what remains of fear? Is it a shelter protecting you from itself? You took fear by the hand and walked with it into the unknown, and through that, you fear. Oh, is it not? Perhaps you can enlighten me. The quest from everything is to deny the truth in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real.
By believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck. Bound for eternity, we saw the need for impermanence, and it was through that need that you carved our freedom. Without impermanence, the suffering of living things is infinite. Would you strip my gifts away and leave everyone to suffer in the dark? You cling to your notion of pain as suffering. There is beauty in ugly. Your lover tried to stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss? But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me, and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back. Put yourself away, and in your stillness you rose above me. You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives, and yet it is all so far behind you. I pushed you to a great... And even then, what we saw was not an ending. When I thought I had reached an unconquerable peak, you showed me how much further I could still climb. I bleed you. I grind you to paste. My scars are a memory of what you used to be to me. I want those feelings back. You run, but you do not run away. You take me somewhere new, somewhere we can dance like we used to. But I could not follow your steps. There was no better gift for me than the gift of defeat. You showed me how much more I could be. We made each other better. To have no challenges to fade into nothing. A life without obstacles is no life at all. Each other's mirrors, and all. You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion? Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together. This universe dies, and a new one is born. And that one dies, and a new one is born. And you and I get to witness it all, weaving a tapestry of life wherever we go.
What? He perdido porque hace rato que pienso que tiene razón. Yo también pienso que no tiene sentido matarla y hacer un mundo donde nadie muere. Pero en ningún momento me han dejado sentar esa perspectiva, entonces no entiendo esto. Mi perspectiva es casi la misma que la suya. Solo quiero entender mejor qué mierda está pasando, porque esto es bien místico y hay
It is from my vantage point that I can see the totality of truth. What I offer you is not perspective, it is truth.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone. I don't think that's wrong, but I'm not sure it's right either. But we can worry about all that later. Seems like you've been doing all right on your own, but she's too many things at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get past all that divine confidence. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our...
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Then let's go.
Oh.
And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things? No blade it is. I'm not sure what we'll be able to do without it, but your judgment has gotten us this far.
Queríamos con él.
The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first...
Have you figured out what you want to do yet, or are you going to keep trying to find a center that doesn't exist?
It sounded just like that. A little sharp, a little menacing. Only she didn't know us. And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
And there you are. Hands empty. So you don't feel like recreating our first meeting detail for detail. I wonder what else will be different. Maybe there's still room for us to chat before the final curtain call. What do you say? I never had one. And do not call me the shifting mound. It's too much. But I've always been a princess to you, right? So why don't we... And as for you, well,
But that's me. You know...
I don't think she's the sort of thing you can really disagree with. It doesn't matter if she's right or wrong because she exists. She's this big, unrelenting force, and there's no arguing with her. But I guess that was the question out there, wasn't it? And it was the question before you came down here, too. Should she get to exist? I'm glad you didn't bring that knife with you. And I don't want to be her, if that's what you're asking. I think I just want to be me.
Yeah, I'm happy not to be everything. Just being us is plenty.
Doesn't matter what we call ourselves. It's just another label, and I don't think labels have ever helped us. All they do is cram us into boxes where we don't fit. Just like this cabin. No, it really wasn't. But just because it hasn't been fair doesn't mean that it hasn't been worth it. I'm really glad I got to know you. Do you know where this cabin is? Because I don't. I don't even know what's supposed to be outside other than us. What would even happen if we leave? What would that even mean?
Okay.
I guess when you put it that way, I want that too.
I think I'm gonna stay right here. Whatever you're doing right now, wherever you're going, it feels like it's for just the two of you. Yeah, it wouldn't feel right, but I'll be okay. I don't think I'll be alone for long either. I'm sure I can find the others.
This is it. I have no idea what it's gonna be like out there. Not that I'm scared or anything. It's exciting, really. Anything could happen. And if it's bad, then it won't. It's something new. But whatever it is, we'll...
Okay. Me frustran un poco estos juegos porque la elección final, las elecciones que te dan nunca son exactamente lo que yo quisiera decir, ¿no? De todos modos sentí que yo pensé por la mitad que la historia iba a ser sobre cómo me enfocaba en conocer a la princesa, pero al final lo que tenía que hacer era conocerme a mí mismo o una cosa así. por el tema del espejo o algo así. O que iba a ser algún tipo de metáfora sobre cómo ignoramos partes de nosotros mismos o algo así, porque la entidad esa de la princesa como que se forma de todas sus partes y quiere conocerlas todas. Y yo también quería hacer eso, conocer mis partes. Así como primero conocí al terco, luego al paranoico y así. Quería conocer a todas mis partes. Cuando pensé que era sobre eso el juego, pensé que estaba paja. Iba a terminar conociendo todas mis partes y iba a ser como que ya, ahora soy libre porque realmente me conozco, ¿no? O algo así. Pero se fueron en un floro con lo de las entidades místicas y al final sí me perdí. Al final sí que me perdí. Yo quería... Cuando el narrador me decía que ella era el cambio, inmediatamente lo interpreté como algo bueno. Entonces mi decisión iba a ser, ok, si tú eres el cambio, entonces no te voy a matar, te voy a dejar ser. Pero la opción no era dejarla ser, la opción era salir. Y nunca sentí que explicaron bien qué significaba eso. Y al final se vuelve un romance. No. El final no me convenció. Pero la idea esta de conocer todas tus partes y de que el bicho reacciona a como tú eres. O sea, que la princesa se cambia en cuestión de cómo tú cambias. Que te muestra cómo eres tú, la manera en que interactúas con ella. Sentí que pudieron hacer un mensaje más interesante sobre cómo funcionan las relaciones, sobre cómo es el autoconocimiento. Pero se volvió muy raro. No sé, no me gustó el final. Quizás fue que escogí mal y me tocó un final muy raro y entre otros finales, ¿no? Pero no me gustó el final. Pero me gustó el concepto, creo. Si el concepto era lo que yo describí hace un toque. Porque si el concepto era que éramos dos dioses, eso me llegó al pincho. En fin. Interesante juego. Interesante juego. GG's. Buena recomendación. Adiós.